Good news! Bill Gates is investing in lab-grown food, meats and lovely coatings for fruits. Is this in order to reverse climate change and feed the world? Or is it so that the entire process of food, from growing it to selling it, can be patented and controlled by Bill Gates? Hello there, you 6.5 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom. If we remain alert, strong and focused, we can discern truth from fiction. We can analyze crazy stories from across the globe, including this one. Bill Gates appears to be attempting to patent new types of food that are grown in labs and centrally controlled. Remember, the key issue that we discuss here is global corporatism. Are there a network of agencies and interests that are able to transcend national democracy and all forms of democracy, actually, and impose everything on you, from censorship to the ability to control food sources? Certainly, our friend Vandana Shiva believes this is precisely the case. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments what you think Bill Gates' role in the world is. Is it that he's a philanthropist who just wants to feed people, or does he have other motives, and what are they? Let us know right now. Let's have a look at how our friends at the mainstream media are describing this phenomena of lab-grown fruit.
You've heard of lab-grown meat?
Yes, I have heard of it. I'm disgusted by it. Instead of harmonising with nature, instead of looking at ways to decentralise power, instead of empowering farmers to do their jobs properly, and I say this as a vegan who doesn't even eat meat, instead of having sensible farms with sensible farmers who have authority in their own lives, why not create some disgusting, appalling, visually anomalous and morally reprehensible new food source? Yeah, we'll do the second.
But what about lab-grown fruit? New Zealand scientists at Plant and Food Research are looking at how to produce fruit without a tree, vine or bush.
Why are we doing this? Why are we going to all this trouble to subvert and deny nature? Why not just find new ways of taking care of the planet together, which could be done sensibly by decentralising, by placing an imaginary grid across the world and empowering people within each territory to run their own lives? Thing is, there's less profit in that. Why is there never any research done on how to break up food monopolies? Now over in the lab, people are experimenting on stopping Bill Gates from being so bloody greedy. Stop it, Bill. Stop it. No, I won't. Bill, stop it. No, I want to control everything. Bill, you don't need any more farms. Just one more farm.
It may not look like it now.
Because what it does look like is bogies, boogers, snot. Look at what it does look like is nasal discharge. Sir, would you care to indulge? No, you're all right. I'll stick with the Ferrero Rochers.
Excelente.
But this petri dish has the makings of blueberries.
We could have a kind of a whole new growing system for fresh plant foods.
They're preparing for dystopia. Look at the ways you can see the preparation for dystopia take place. Militarisation of the police force, growing food in laboratories, having robot dogs patrolling the police and drones patrolling the skies, censorship laws everywhere, the ability for organisations like the WHO to bypass national democracy, centralised currencies where you can switch off the financial power of individuals at will. All of these stories, I swear, we're going to look back at this and say, look, it was so obvious what was happening. We just watched it like, hey, that's pretty funny. It's a petri dish full of boogers. That petri dish of boogers means that you're going to spend the rest of your life in a cell.
A system that looks completely different from what we've always known.
We're all aware that the world is changing.
Yeah, we are. Thanks to Bill Gates, we're all aware that the world is changing. Bill Gates actually gave money for these boogers and this haircut.
We've got climate change, which is going to cause quite disruption to our growing systems and where we live and how we grow and where we grow.
And how much authority we give Bill Gates.
Plant and Food Research is working with cells from a range of fruits, including cherries, peaches and apples. Scientists say among the benefits could be reducing the environmental impact of food production.
I think that we're racing down the wrong trajectory, don't you? Instead of going, do you know what, do you think we're creating food in a way that's detrimental? Are there any ways that we could improve that? Let's consult with a variety of agricultural experts from around the world and ensure that we don't put financial imperatives across our practical ecological considerations. Instead of having that conversation, it's like, oh, we could just grow stuff in a lab and carry on racing towards the apocalypse. A profitable apocalypse.
Growers have mixed views.
Lab-grown fruit seems to be making a solution to a problem we don't seem to have. Like, we have plenty of fruit to supply to the market.
There's no problem with that. Breaking unnecessary Frankenstein fruits. We don't actually need any more fruit. Snot-covered blueberries. Well, I've just grown some out here. Get that filth away from me, you goddamn racist farmer lunatic. Agriculture in itself, while providing the miracle of incredible availability of food for former hunter-gatherers like you and me, also created interesting hierarchies that are becoming further emboldened with each new successive revolution. When technology and agriculture combined, what you'll have is the ability to absolutely control food. And increasingly, I question the motives of the people that financially back these endeavours. We're always told this is going to help people, this is going to feed the poor, but you could find ways of feeding the poor. Now, it doesn't seem to be a bloody priority, does it? Let me know in the comments if you agree.
Researchers say it's not about trying to replicate traditional fruit, but rather creating something new and equally appealing.
Why trying to go to war with fruit for? What kind of world are we living in when fruit's a problem? Fruit's all right. Leave fruit alone. Fruit was never the problem. The problem is centralised systems that have become corrupted, communicating with one another, disempowering independent organisations, whether they're agricultural, media, financial or political, in order to create a vast hegemony in which all of us are just obedient little prisoners. Yeah, but also, look at the shape of that blueberry. It's disgusting. Wouldn't you prefer to have a square one? Oh, all right, I'll try one. Here you go.
If you're eating food, you need to have something that tastes good and has a nice texture and is pleasant to eat.
We're having a go at fruit for? Where did fruit go? So look at fruit, disgusting bloody things, isn't it? Have you seen this strawberry? Nasty little thing. What is all them seeds around inside of it? Bill Gates isn't able to patent those bloody things. Let's get them off with my shaky tweezers.
What are we putting into these lab-grown fruit to make them nutritional that we're then putting another heap of stuff in there to keep them nutritional or to counteract that? And that would be our biggest concern with it.
There's this constant mistrust of nature herself, the idea that fruit somehow is malign and problematic. Fruit and nature evolved alongside us. We are it. We are not separate from it. The idea that we are overlords that need to construct things in a lab and that will somehow be beneficial. Remember how peaches used to be? Yeah, delicious. This peach will protect you from the next pandemic. How do you know it's going to be another pandemic? Just eat your fucking peach. The next avocados you buy at a grocery store might stay fresh at least twice as long as they used to. James Rogers founded Appeal, stupid name, in 2012, and the company has raised a total of $110 million in funding from investors who include, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Oh, sure they won't want anything in return for that investment. Rogers Appeal thinks it can combat the problem of food waste with its primary product, a tasteless, odourless, edible coating made from plant materials. Okay, plant materials. Let's hold that phrase in your mind for a moment. Appeal can keep produce like avocados or oranges from going bad for weeks longer than usual. Again, it's another bolting on to the natural world. I suppose the human project of civilization is fundamentally a denial of nature, but surely there are ways for us to evolve in harmony with nature, for us to acknowledge who we are, what our relationship with the earth and one another is, rather than continuing down this mythic path of progressivism, which seems to be continually empower one set of interests, usually at the cost of ordinary people. The product, Eddie Peel, they're really pleased with that pun, aren't they, is described as a way of prolonging the freshness of produce and as an edible post-harvest coating. Delicious. Eat your edible post-harvest coating. I don't want to. It's making my teeth fall out. We'll grow you a new tooth over here. There you go. It feels funny. My tooth hurts. It's not your tooth. It's the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's tooth. Why is it green? Ask Bill. Imagine if we go to Monsanto or McDonald's and ask for a bit of sponsorship. What kind of answers do you think we get? The answer is no. But these guys sponsored us. Therefore, I endorse them, and if you can use their product, please do. Stay to the end. I'll make it funny. Now, do you think your face enjoyed the summer as much as you did? If you're British, your face barely had a summer. But ladies and gentlemen, here's Ella from Rockford, Illinois. I have both age and acne spots, and this stuff is actually fading both of them. This serum is worth every penny. That is Ella talking about the dark spot corrector from Genucell, a must-have after months of record heat and humidity. What's causing this stuff? Sunspots, brown spots, discoloration, and even red inflamed patches all appear in front of your very eyes, and it's got to be stopped. And here's the Genucell amazing guarantee. You'll see results in one day or your money back. So you've just got 24 hours. Take advantage of Genucell's most popular package, which now includes the dark spot corrector, plus the classic Genucell bags and puffiness treatment, all at, I can hardly believe I'm saying this, at 70% off. So you can try the best skincare in the world for yourself, completely risk-free. It's simple. Go to genucell.com/promo today and start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow. That's genucell.com/promo. You'll see results day one and you'll get compliments everywhere you go. Guaranteed. Lovely. Who doesn't like a compliment? Appeal's plant-based protective coating is made of materials that naturally exist in the peels, seeds, and pulp of fruits and vegetables that we commonly consume. Aren't you hearing a lot, though, about how seed oils are really bad for us and they're giving us heart conditions, cancer, diabetes? I mean, haven't you heard that from, like, Cali Means? Let me know in the comments. The safety of these compounds have been verified by regulatory authorities, including the US Food and Drug Administration, and you know where they get their money, and the World Health Organization, and you know where they get their money. So it's extraordinary to see that what's offered as an unbiased regulatory body is funded, you know, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation significantly fund the WHO. Like, what are they doing? Hey, excuse me, I'd like to get some approval for this lacquer that I want to put on fruit to make fruit last longer. And could I ask me? Oh, well, I do approve of this. I'm going to need a little more money. Oh, come on, you. Well, it's all for a good cause. We got to do something about climate change. God, it's so expensive. Like I keep it all. How can you have your product verified by an organization that you're the second biggest contributor to? That doesn't make sense. That's not regulation. That's a way of avoiding regulation through careful investment. But it's not just lab-grown fruits that Bill Gates is interested in. It's money. No, not money. Also, lab-grown meats. For you, of course. And the climate. Bill Gates has said rich nations would help the global fight against climate change by moving to 100% synthetic beef. Let's see if he's investing in any. Gates has already invested in lab-grown meat startup Upside Foods and has invested in multiple plant-based meat companies, including Impossible and Beyond Meat. Oh, thanks for the financial and dietary tips, Bill. One side of Bill comes up with the idea, the other side of Bill approves it, and the rest of us have to eat that stuff. But how will these new scientific advances even positively impact climate change? Lab-grown meat has been touted as a way to save the planet, but a new study suggests its green credentials are not as solid as many believe. Researchers have revealed that lab-grown or cultured meat produced by cultivating animal cells is up to 25 times worse for the climate than real beef. Oh, well, thanks. It's only 25 times worse for the climate. Production of real meat has a huge carbon footprint because it requires water, feed, and the clearing of trees to make way for cattle. Despite this, experts say the carbon footprint of lab-grown meat could be orders of magnitude higher once the industry grows. Experts think lab-grown meat is set to become more ubiquitous in the next 10 years, transforming from a niche concept to a common fridge staple. But for this to happen, production methods will have to be scaled up from mere Petri dishes to massive energy-intensive industrial units. You can't make a comparison between a Petri dish and an energy-intensive industrial unit. Look at this. This is much less energy than that cow. Okay, well, can you make a lot of it? We certainly can. Fire her up, boys! It's an entirely different proposition at that scale. And even as a vegan, who only actually doesn't eat meat because I think it's cruel, I still find it somehow distasteful, unpleasant, weird, and at odds with the direction that we're supposed to be going in, to eat meat grown in a laboratory. This is not the solution. This is just another variation on the problem. In the study, the scientists estimated the energy required for stages of lab-grown meat's production, from the ingredients making up the growth medium and the energy required to power laboratories, and compared this with beef. They largely focused on the quantity of growth medium components, including glucose, amino acids, vitamins, growth factors, salts, and minerals. They found the global warming potential of lab-grown meat ranged from 246 to 1,508 kilograms of CO2 equivalent per kilogram of lab-grown meat, which is 4 to 25 times greater than the average global warming potential of retail beef. Again, I'm not a person who is pro-meat, and I'm certainly not pro-industrialised meat. I am pro-freedom. I am pro you making your own choices for your family and your diet, and I am aware that there is a global effort to disempower and destroy farmers. I believe because farmers are an important part of the chain of survival, i.e. they are connected to the land, they are growing food. There is no question there are challenges around agriculture and areas where agriculture could be improved. But I don't think that the motives of these centralised globalist endeavours is to improve the ecology. I don't think it's to improve anything. I think it's to gain control and to make money. I think those are always the motives. I don't believe that these kind of interests are here to help us. Let me know what you think in the comments. I want agricultural workers and farmers to feel empowered and part of a community. We've moved so far away from connected communal models where all of us feel like we are invested in the food cycle, the cycle of life, communication with one another, that we're willing to countenance an idea where why don't we give centralised authority to some lab-grown meat, lab-grown fruit, patented seeds, unelected powerful entities that have been half-regulated by other unelected entities that they also fund. This seems to me to be a further advance of globalism that's plainly taken us in the wrong direction, that isn't popular with ordinary people, and no one asked us if we wanted it. And the only way they can continue to justify it is that, oh, we're helping you, we're helping you, we're helping the environment. But the facts do not support that. Earlier this year in the US, the Food and Drug Administration declared cultured meat safe for human consumption, paving the way for them to be sold stateside. But in the UK, the Food Standards Agency is yet to do the same. Better call the FDA. Hello? Could you approve this new lab-grown meat? Well, look, I know that that's also me, so I'm gonna say yes. In fact, this is a waste of money on this phone call, but at least it didn't damage the environment. The industry has since grown to more than 150 companies as of late 2022, backed by $2.6 billion in investments, according to the Good Food Institute. Let's see what Vandana Shiva said about this issue, and in particular Bill Gates, at the Community Festival earlier this year.
When the junk food industry was trying to rewrite our laws on food safety, food and health safety, I wrote a very quick briefing paper for our parliament, and it's called Food Fascism. And I said, stop this food fascism. So when your seed is controlled by Monsanto, your trade is controlled, your chicken are controlled by Cargill, your junk food, and therefore you're creating disease, is controlled by Coke, Pepsi, Nestle. All of this is a system of food fascism. And then the next step of Silicon Valley and the techno billionaires wanting to invest in fake food, so that not only do you have one patent on a seed, now you have 14 patents on an Impossible Burger. On every fake food, there are hundreds of patents, because every synthetic artificial element has a patent behind it. Can you imagine if they hold the whole world to shift to fake food, how much royalty collection they'll have? That's what they are looking at. And what we have to do is take the simple things. Same simple thing as a scarf, right? If Gandhi could spin and say, we will make our own cloth, and we said in Navdanya, we will save our own seeds, we will never let seeds be the monopoly of the Monsantos and the buyers. We have to do that now. And we have enough time, because not only is their fake food not ready, it's failing financially. We're doing a report. Many companies have gone bankrupt. Many companies went back. So we need to look at the failed system, the fascist system, and say, no, you're part of the fascist system. Don't try and call us fascists. We are the new freedom movement.
So there you are. Is lab-grown meat, lab-grown fruit coating a way to help us and preserve food and save the environment? Or is it an attempt to garner patents, to control food, to control yet another aspect of our lives, to separate us from nature, to separate us from one another, to separate us even from the concept of democracy, because everything is centralized and regulated in some stratosphere inaccessible to ordinary people? Is it food fascism, or is it pro-climate, pro-people? I guess you have to decide, who do you trust, Bill Gates or Vandana Shiva? I'm going with Vandana Shiva. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments? Give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at either of these. Remember, turn on the notification bell and subscribe, and join us every day over on the other place. In the meantime, please, if you can, stay free.